Good evening, everyone. Glad that you guys are here. Excited about the day, excited about spring market. Just happy to be here. Check in the comment section. Let me know that you're here. Keith is saying hello. Check in. Let me know how you're doing, how you feeling, what questions that you guys may have. Go ahead and put them there. Also, put in the comment section for me. What are some of the things that you want more clarity on, or me to talk about? Some of the things that you may be lacking. Nikki is here. Hey, Nikki, Iris, Jasmine, Demille. I think Demille is here for that money. I think I'm gonna give out that money tonight, Demille. I think I'm getting ready. Get your calculator ready, Demille. I got money for you. All right, Miss Tate is in the house. Hey, Miss Tate. Miss Tate is in the house. All right. Put in the comment section. What are some topics that you want me to discuss? I did receive a lot of not a lot, but some emails from you guys. And so I'll go over those questions that you guys sent in yesterday and today. All right, the mail is saying best buy and hold zip codes. Okay. All right, so we'll go over that. Let's say Nikki is saying, when partnering with other investors, what do you consider to be a fair split? Okay. All right, so I'll go over. Let me go ahead and start answering these questions so that we don't run out of time. And again, you guys, if you have some things that either questions that you have or more clarity, go ahead and put them in the comment section. I'll start answering the questions so we don't run out of time. And then I'll go to the questions that you guys emailed in. All right, so Demille is saying, is asking best buy and hold zip codes. All right, so let me clarify this. In terms of buy and holds, I like to buy and hold in areas where I can either buy low and rent high. I also like buying in areas where I can start off with a good cash flow and get appreciation. And so we've gone over this before, but I will tell you guys, especially if you're a newer investor, that finding a great deal in Baltimore is probably what you want to do. If you guys are taking notes, or just take a mental note on this, Baltimore, Maryland, and we're lucky to be here. Baltimore, Maryland is the #1 residential rental area in the United States, Baltimore, Maryland. And it's because you can buy low and rent high. And Section 8 rents comparably high for the amount of money that you have to put out and buy the houses for. And so Baltimore, the negative part about Baltimore is you're not going to get that much appreciation, which means you've got to buy those properties in Baltimore, well below market. So you're buying the equity. You're buying the equity. You're buying the properties right, and so you're buying with equity. And then you're renting out. Most of the properties that I rent out, I try to start. To be honest with you, I try to start at $1,000 a month in positive cash flow. Somewhere between $800 and $1,000 a month in positive cash flows is where I try to start. And so the areas in Baltimore, to answer the zip codes, to answer Demille, the answer to your question really, Demille, is in Baltimore, all the zip codes are good. You just have to go and do the research in the zip code to see what areas of the zip code are good, what areas are bad. We're not buying and holding where there's a lot of board ups. We're buying and holding where we're generally buying in areas where you can buy for, let's say, somewhere between, I'll say $40,000 up to $80,000. That's what we're buying on streets where there's no board ups. My model is to buy row houses. As most of you guys know, I like buying row houses. I like buying interior units. And again, I like renting to Section 8 tenants, voucher holders. Somebody tell me, put in the comment section why I like that model. Why do I like row houses? Why do I like interior units? Somebody put in the comment section. Let's see who's been paying attention to me. I like interior units. So, and somebody will tell me why I say that. Now, 21218, I like in Baltimore. That's like Charles Village area. I like 21213. That's Bel Air Edison. I was in 21201 yesterday. Right before you get to Charles Village. All right, so these guys are answering my question. May is saying less maintenance. Allison is saying less maintenance. James Bynum, no outside maintenance. Yeah, absolutely. Interior units, less yard, less windows. And so those are the reasons why. I mean, when you're renting, you guys, what kills you on rentals is two things. Maintenance cost kills you, eats into your profits, but then also vacancies. And so to mitigate the vacancies, one thing that I've learned is I try to renovate my properties as if I'm going to flip the property. I used to put used appliances. I don't do that anymore because they just turn over. So I put used appliances in there, and 6 months, a year later, I've got to go back and replace them. So I put in brand new appliances. I put in washer and dryers. There was a time on my rentals I didn't do it. And so I found that I saved money spending a little more money up front renovating houses. A lot of my Platinum Coaching students have seen my properties in Baltimore, my last 2 renovations, and I renovated them as if I was going to flip the properties. I put in real hardwood floors because I don't want to have to go back a year or 2 from now and replace the flooring. I'm starting to lean towards not putting in carpet because I don't want to have to replace the carpet. I put in granite. I do put in stainless steel. I try to make them nice and attractive so they get rented out pretty quickly, and the tenant wants to stay there. So I've had Section 8 tenants that have been in my properties. I've got a property in Annapolis where that tenant has been there. The same tenant has been there maybe 5 or 6 years now. And so I want them there, and I've had very, very little maintenance done on that property. But 21229 Edmondson, I have properties there. And so I'm just really telling you the properties that I have. I like, I can't remember the zip code, but I like the northeast section off of Northern Avenue, Bon Secure area. I have properties there. And so I went all the way up. I gave you guys a window of 40 to 80,000. Up there in Bon Secure, I bought for 80. I bought that property for 80,000. I put in maybe 10, 15,000. After repair value there is 200,000. So I bought with over $100,000 in equity. But my note on that, I don't think that I combined that note. Maybe I did. But I think my note on that is like maybe $600 a month, and it's renting for $1,700, Section 8. And honestly, that tenant has been in maybe a year. Haven't heard a peep out of her. Haven't heard anything. And I think it's because we renovated it right. I renovated it as if I was going to flip the property. I did get asked a question a while ago. Gary asked me a question. Do I put backsplash in my rentals? And I do. You don't have to, but I try to make mine look really nice because it's a business. Each house is a business, and you guys have to look at it as a business. You've got to take care of it like it's your business. And if you take care of that business, each house will generate revenue for you for the rest of your life, the rest of your children's life, the rest of your grandchildren's life, if you take care of it. So really take care of each property. Now, I do have buy and holds in DC, and I will tell you, Demille, the 21219, no, I'm sorry, 20019 Deanwood. I have properties there. I like Deanwood for rentals. I would highly suggest to you guys, I won't give you the zip codes, I'll just give you the subdivisions. If you're looking to buy for equity and appreciation, that's DC. And in my opinion, if you were to ask me what's the up and coming areas in DC, I would say Deanwood, but that's like everybody already knows that. People are already flocking there. That's 20019. I would say also River Terrace, which technically it's called Lily Ponds, but from DC we call it River Terrace. And so I would buy in River Terrace right now. I almost had one in River Terrace. I would buy in Deanwood, but then I would also buy in like Congress Heights. That's 20032 as a buy and hold. That same row house interior unit. Gary just bought one in Fort DuPont. That's 20020. Fort DuPont, Randall Heights in DC. And so those areas are really starting to appreciate. Deanwood is appreciating at 70%. In the last 3 or 4 years, 70%, you guys. So if you're looking for equity and appreciation, that's DC. And those are the zip codes. And so Sharvita is saying on the rentals, if you take good care of them and renovate them correctly, they stay longer and they make them nice. And oftentimes they take ownership in them. Mentally, they take ownership in your buy and hold, in your properties. It's like it's theirs. They protect it. They take ownership in there. It's great shelter for them. And so your tenants take care of your properties. You make sure you take care of them too. The second one of my tenants called me, I'm there. Like I've got staff, but I'm there. I want to make sure that they're happy. This one lady, I on the way to her house, I stopped at Krispy Kreme and brought her a dozen donuts because I want her happy. She's protecting my investment. They will protect your investment. All right, so Sharvita is saying that she puts granite in hers. Iris is asking if you purchase a property for $40,000 and that the total price and what is an average repair cost for a board up? So the average price, let me just put her question up here. Her question is, what's the average? And so so a $40,000 property that I'm buying, it's not a board up. That's not a board up. In Baltimore, a board up is like 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20,000. That's a board up. I don't buy board ups, and I don't do full gut renovations on properties in Baltimore. It's just not, for me, it's not worth it. The renovation cost is going to be more than the acquisition cost. So I don't do that. And so in Baltimore, I'm just doing cosmetic. If it's not a cosmetic renovation where I can just put flooring in, paint, probably renovate the kitchen and the bathrooms, and that's it. If there's anything on the exterior like roof, maybe windows, I'll do that. But I try to keep my renovation costs in Baltimore, I'll just say 15,000, below 20,000. I'm not doing gut renovations. Most of the board ups are gut renovations. I bought a property in Harlem Park a couple of years ago from a guy for $8,000. It was on a street where there was like one board up across the street, two board ups on the same side. but there was also investors with contractors on the same block renovating property. So he owned the property free and clear. It was a probate, called me, wanted like 20,000. I negotiated down to 8,000, paid cash for it, closed on the deal, spent $1,500 just cleaning it out. I had a clean out crew come and clean it out. And instead of renovating the property, I gave the property to an auction house, an auctioneer, and they auctioned it for me. And I think the guy paid 25,000 for it. So I made about 20. What did I make? About 8,000, made about 17,000 in a very short period of time. But I didn't want to take the risk of renovating that property. And so Iris, to answer your question, I spend about 15,000, maybe 20,000 if I can get away with it, on a buy and hold. If I'm running the numbers and I think if it's a good flip for me, I may spend, and it makes sense, I may spend up to maybe $30,000. But I try to stay away from in Baltimore. And this is just me personally, a gut rehab. Gary is saying the nicer your place, the better quality tenant you will attract. So that's a great comment. The nicer your place, the better quality tenant you will attract. So don't skimp. Don't cut corners. The tenants take a lot of pride in where they live, and sometimes they frustrate our agents when our agents are taking out tenants, because the tenants want what a buyer wants. They want hardwood floors. They want granite countertops. They want stainless steel appliances. They want what anybody else wants. And sometimes some of the agents on here will attest to this. They'll be patient. They'll look around. Don't look down upon a tenant just because they're a tenant, one, or maybe if they're a voucher holder too. You don't know what their circumstance is. You don't know where they're coming from. They may be coming from a place where they were a homeowner and life kind of happened, and they need to rent temporarily, and they want something that fits their standard. So just keep that in mind. But then also it's your investment. All right, so let's see what DeMille is saying. He's saying, okay, I'm thinking of doing a rehab house hack, so looking for the best place to buy. Okay, yeah, so all the places that I just mentioned between Baltimore and DC, I feel as though are the best places. All right, James is asking, and some of you, Sharvita, Gary, why don't you guys chime in? Allison as well. Do you still have problems with tenants abusing the property after making them nice? And so you guys chime in, but I'll be honest with you, and that's a myth, and it's real. I mean, honestly, it becomes a myth because it does happen. But I'll just be honest with you, it's really never happened to me. And it's because I don't abandon the properties. When they call, I hop on the issue. I primarily only choose voucher holders, so they're in a program. The program makes sure that they take care of the property, and they know it. They know the rules and regulations. The program, let's say it's Section 8, Section 8 comes out once a year to inspect. Section 8 will tell the tenant, these are, we've inspected, these are your responsibilities. Landlord, these are your responsibilities to fix. I'll be back in 30 days. If the tenant hasn't fixed those items, they get kicked out of the program. They don't want to get kicked out of the program. The number one need of a human being, the number one need, the number one concern, the number one worry is shelter. They're not getting kicked out of the program. They're going to take care of that property. There was a time many years ago where Section 8, they just rented the properties. They didn't come check. They check now, and these tenants, not only do they get kicked out of your house, they get kicked out of the program and they become homeless. Now they don't Section 8 won't kick them out of the house. They'll actually kick them out of the program, and then it's up to you to evict them. You still have to evict them. Sharvita is saying that she hasn't had any problems. Allison said that she hasn't had any problems. Allison is saying she does regular inspections and she screens all of her tenants, and she's really responsive to them. You've got to be. You can't just buy a property, renovate the property, rent it out, and go away and neglect your asset. For some of you, your rental properties are paying for college. They're part of your retirement plan. They're part of what you want to leave for your children. Their inheritance. So you got to take care of it. I look at each property as its own separate business, and I take care of it. And oftentimes when I go to an area, let's say I'm going to Annapolis to look at another property, or I'm going to eat there or whatever. If I have time, I'll just casually just drive by. I won't go into the house unannounced, but I will go by. I will drive by. If I'm in an area of Baltimore where I own a property, I'll drive by the property just to see what the outside looks like. Oftentimes, the outside of the house actually tells the story of the inside. But then I do check. All right, Gary's saying he doesn't have any problems with his tenant. He had 2 Section 8 tenants. When they both moved out, they left his house cleaner than when they originally moved in. Normal, they just had normal use, wear and tear. Absolutely. But it's not to say that it doesn't happen, but you can't let it happen, you guys. You can't let them tear up your asset. Would you let them come into your personal home and tear it up? So don't let them tear up your investment. Gary's saying he handles all aspects of the rental process himself. He uses a third-party screening service, and before he'll make the final decision, and he'll visit where they live. So that's a good point. I was actually listening to, I think, a podcast from Joseph Asamoah. And he said that he actually goes to where the tenants previously live, or currently live, I should say, to see how they kept up that house. And he'll make sure that he actually talks to the landlord. We can't make mistakes here. And so that's what Joseph does, and that's what Gary does. And so that's what we should be doing. Yeah, so Gary is saying that they left the house cleaner than when they moved into the same house. Absolutely. I mean, I've had that happen as well. Let's see. I think we had a couple other questions. Do you have problems? All right, so you guys, so yeah, I like the interior units. Let's see, Jasmine. Okay, so Jasmine has a question. Let's just put it up here. Is partnering with another investor the best way to get properties under my belt? And so, Jasmine, that's a really great question. I'm glad you asked it. Is partnering with another investor the best way to get properties under her belt? And so actually, I received a few questions about partnering for tonight's call. And I would say, Jasmine, the answer to that question is absolutely partnering. And I say that for a lot of reasons. You guys chime in. Why would you guys think that partnering would be the best way to get started? And I will tell you, Jasmine, I started buying properties at 23. Year out of college, I started buying properties, and I was buying and holding properties. And my goal was to buy one a year, and that's what I did. I would buy one a year, buy and hold. But I made it my business to get really good at finding opportunities. But 23, 24, 25 years old, I only had enough money really to buy that one buy and hold, but I had these opportunities. I didn't really know about wholesaling back then. So what I would do, Jasmine, is I had the opportunity. I would find other investors who had the money. Some of you guys know Thurman Battle. Back then, I would partner with Thurman. I found the properties. He put up the money, and we would flip properties. I was riding down Rhode Island Avenue this weekend, and I pointed out a couple of the houses on Rhode Island Avenue, like Rhode Island and North Capitol Street, that him and I flipped. Like a few right there. We got lucky and just got some right on Rhode Island Avenue. But yeah, I mean, so partnering is the best way. Now, so when we say partnering, what does that really mean? So here's what it means, you guys. As I see it, as a partner, you have to ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? And what do I need a partner for? And so, Jasmine, as a partner, you need either to have money to be able to, or to have great credit to get financing. So financing, cash, be able to find deals, have a crew to renovate one of these things, or experience. I partnered with some of my platinum coaching students where they had the money, they found a property, but they didn't have the experience. So great, can we partner? Can I bring you in as a partner? I'll put up the money, I have the property. I just need you to your expertise, and they use my crew. So I manage my crew, and we flip properties. I also partnered with one of my contractors. I found the property. I got the money and the financing for acquisition. My contractor put up all the money for the rehab, and we split the profits. And so what you've got to ask yourself is, yes, it's great to have a partner to get started, but what am I bringing to the table, and what do I need them for? What do I need them to bring to the table? And so if you have great credit, maybe in you're inexperienced, maybe you need someone with experience. Or if you have great credit and you have cash, maybe you need a partner that can find properties for you, that have properties. And so I do, to answer some of the questions that come in, I do partner. And I've partnered with some of you guys that I see that's on the call. And I'm happy to do so. And so I guess that's a long way to answer your question. But Jasmine, yes, you find a partner. There's lots of people actually on this call that want partners, that want to be partners. We have to start networking. We'll network a little better. Maybe this summer will be, because of COVID. I'm thinking maybe this summer, maybe this fall. We'll go back to our monthly meetings where we're actually, we used to meet at the Marriott. So maybe we'll go back to that. So bring something to the table. What do you have to bring to the table? And that's the question. And if you have something, one of the things that I just mentioned, yes, you have partners. But we do have our mastermind page. We do have our mastermind page where you can go on there to seek partners. A lot of our platinum coaching students where we actually do network. We networked at 2 of my properties this past Saturday, and then I think 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, they went to 2 of our students' properties, Latif and Allison's properties. They kind of caravan to those 2, so they were able to, with social distancing, network. But we have had our coaching students partner with each other. So yes, Sharvita, I have a JV agreement. You guys should have a JV agreement in your toolkit. But if you need a JV agreement, I'm happy to send it to you. Just send me an email or text message, and I'll send you the joint venture agreement. And then she's also saying, and does one person do the financing in their company name? And so, yeah, you do a joint venture agreement in both of your company's names. So you're joint venture. So you're joining together. So one LLC is joining together with another LLC for a common good or common cause. And that makes the joint venture. So you're joint venturing out of your LLCs to form one business. And then it'll stipulate in the joint venture agreement, or you'll stipulate in the joint venture agreement, which partner is doing what. You set up bank accounts. There's even provisions for if one of the partners happens during the renovations, passes away. And so there's provisions for that. And so the joint venture agreement has all of those things. So yes, you do it with your LLC. James is asking, what's the best way to put together a contracting crew? So I would say I would say the ways that I've found people through referrals. I have found contractors just driving neighborhoods, to be honest with you, pulling up on projects, renovation projects in progress, looking at the work and getting their names. And so I've done it that way. I mean, I've done it through Angie's List, through Home Advisor. So I've done it all of those ways. So that's the best way. I mean, obviously the best way is through referrals, to get referrals. To be fair, I don't like giving referrals because, a contractor might do a good job for me, not a good job for you. And you guys may look at me and blame me. So I don't like, to be honest, I don't like giving out referrals. I mean, I will. I don't like it, but you've got to vet them yourselves. I have a plumber that I use that I was riding down the Beltway and he had a really nice van. He went right by me with a really nice logo on his van. And I took a quick picture of it. And I've been using him, Akeem, I've been using him for probably 5 or 6 years, off and on as my plumber. I have another plumber that he was in the gym and he had a shirt on. Talk about branding. He had a shirt on that he was working. It was a workout shirt, but he had a shirt on, and on the back of it, it had his logo, his number. I struck up a conversation with him, artist, and the last 2 properties, well, the one in DC, the one in DC that you guys saw Saturday, he was the plumber on that, and I met him, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago at the gym. And so I have found them different ways to answer your question, James. Let's see. And so yeah, back to that JV. Dietrich is saying opportunity to learn the process for more experienced investors. Working with other experienced investors to help with cash. If you're lacking in cash, Nikki is saying. Gary is saying you get you get partners for experience and maybe because of lack of funds or other resources. And so getting started, you guys, you do have to, I believe in partnering. You do have to pool your funds together. And so when I was a young investor flipping properties, I mean, I knew it. I was in my 20s. I didn't have a lot of cash. I didn't even, at the time that I got started with that, I was just getting into real estate. I didn't have a lot of cash. But I knew that if I partnered with people, I was happy to split the money. Let's not be greedy. Let's learn and let's save and let's say to ourselves, we're going to partner. I'm going to partner with 3 or 4 or 5 different deals. I'm going to save my money. And then I'm going to get to the point, and I said this to myself, I'm going to get to the point where I'm not going to need a partner. And when I got to that point, I told some of the partners that I use, and I mean, they understood, like, I'm ready to get out on my own. Like, I've got the money, I have the experience, I have the confidence, you know, I feel empowered, I'm bold, I'm going for it. And if I fail, it's at least I tried. And so I felt like I was ready, and that's what you have to do. And I haven't looked back, and I still learn on every project, and I've done hundreds of projects by now. And you know, every project is an experience, but that's how you learn. But in order to get going and then eventually scale your business, you've got to use people, partners, and then eventually you've got to build, you know, a staff. You've got to know who your architect is. I met a new architect today, and so I'm always meeting people. Met a new one today. Now I have like 3 crews that I can really rely on to renovate my project, so I don't have to worry about the renovating part of it. I've got crews, but I didn't start like yesterday. I started years ago. So you build up to all of this. You build up to it. Now, Sharvita is asking me a question about subs. She's asking me a question: am I the general contractor, and do I hire subs? The answer to the question is no. I'm not the general contractor in most of my deals. Now, having said that, because I just don't have time, I'm doing other things, I have other responsibilities, I don't have time to be at the project every single day. But having said that, these last 2 projects that I've done, at the time when I bought the projects, I felt like the numbers were tight. And generally, a general contractor is going to mark your project up on a renovation side about 20%, 25%. So they're going to mark it up to pay for their time. And so I couldn't afford that on these projects. So I said, you know, me and my internal team, you know, I have an assistant, Susan. So she'll do all the interior work in terms of permits and dealing with the contracts and the inspections and the drawings and everything like that. And you know, I'll make it my business 2 or 3 times a week. I'll go out to the project. She'll go out. You know, my daughters come on. She'll go out and take pictures. And so it's worked well. So the last 2 projects, I was the general contractor, and I did hire. I actually hired the subs, but what I did was some of the crews that I generally use, I didn't hire them as the general contractor. I had them on pieces of, like, I had one of my crews. I said, I just need you to do the exterior of the house. I had another crew just do the interior of the house in terms of the carpentry, the paint, the tile. I know of mechanical, which is the HVAC, which was Dana. I have plenty of plumbers, and I have electricians. So I went ahead and had them do all of that stuff. So that's what I did on these last 2 projects. And it actually worked out pretty well. We had some setbacks, but it actually worked out pretty well. I would highly recommend, though, getting your own general contractor. Unless, Sharvita, you're going to be at that project every day or at least 5 days a week. You have to be there. If you can be there and you have good contractors, then you can be the general contractor. But if not, I would highly recommend hiring a general contractor, at least until you actually learn what you're doing. All right, so I think, did we answer all of Sharvita's questions? I think we did. All right. Let me see what other questions we have here, and then I'll go to the questions. Let me see. Gary has a question. It says, Greg, have you seen Joseph's podcast? Greg, have you seen his podcast where he interviewed 3 of his current Section 8 tenants, and they talked about the difficulties of finding a suitable place to live? Wow. And I'm sure they're having difficulties because there's landlords that they're not renovating the properties to their standards, and that's probably why they're having a difficult time finding a suitable place to live. And one thing that I know about Joseph, we're talking about Joseph, his tenants stay. He's got tenants that's been in his properties for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And it's because not only does he give them a good product, he takes care of them. He sends them on vacations. If they've done well all year long, December, whatever your portion of the rent is, you don't have to pay. Now, he only rents Section 8. I think he gives the children like money if they get straight A's. Like, he does stuff like that. But why does he do that? Put in the comment section. Why does Joseph do all of those things? Why does he do it? Somebody put in the comment section. Why is he taking care of his tenants the way he is, and he's treating them well, treating them like humans? Why is he doing that? Somebody put in the comment section. Why is Joseph doing all those things? He's doing those things because he's protecting his greatest asset, which is his properties. And when it's time for him to retire, and obviously he can retire, those properties, listen to this, those properties will be paid for. Those tenants are paying for the properties. You give a good product, you take care of those tenants, they will pay for the properties for you, you guys. They will pay for the properties for you. And so that's why we do it, and that's why they do it. That's why they do it. They'll pay for the properties for you. So let's say Dietrich saying return on investment, absolutely. They treat him and the property good, absolutely. They don't want to leave because no one else is doing it. And so Gary is saying they don't want to leave because they know that they're not going to get that type of product. Absolutely. They're not going to get that type of product. Where else are they? In their minds, like, where else am I going to go and get this? And so Nikki is saying it costs money to constantly put new tenants in properties. And so that's the killer, you guys. When we're talking about rental properties, that's the killer. The killer is turnover. As a landlord, you've got to minimize turnover. Turnover is a killer. Turnover is a killer because now the property is vacant. So now you've got to come out of your pocket to pay the rent while it's vacant. Once they move out, now you've got to spend money on fixing the property back up. And so it's a killer. And so we want to keep them in the property as long as we can. So we've got to run. If they have an issue, run to them and fix that, because we don't want turnover. We don't want turnover. All right. So Adabisi, says, hello, how do we determine the ARV? All right, so Adebisi has a question about ARV. And so let's go over ARV really quickly. And so those of you guys who are taking notes, Adebisi, take notes. And so this is the math. And we'll go over it. I know this is probably elementary for a lot of you guys, but I want to go over it. Adebisi's asking the question. Yeah, Maya. All right, so how are we determining after repair value? And so the after repair value is the value of the property once it's completely renovated. Once it's got all the bells and whistles, what can I sell it for? The high-end comps for an area, that's ARV. And so you determine ARV Adebisi by finding the like-kind properties in the area and seeing what they sold for. So a particular area, let's say it's Capitol Heights. We want to look at 20743. We want to pull the comps. An agent will pull the comps. What's the highest properties that have sold in Capitol Heights that, let's say the property is a townhouse. That's a townhouse, so like-kind property. A similar, what I look at is a similar square footage. I look at the square footage. Bedrooms and bathrooms I look at, but I primarily look at the square footage. I mainly pay attention to the square footage. And so we're looking at like-kind properties. And then what has sold in that criteria for the highest price, which means they've been renovated. That's how we determine that's how we determine the after repair value. Now, real estate agents, a good real estate agent can find that for you. If you're not a real estate agent, you've got to align yourself with a good real estate agent. If you can't find a good real estate agent, then there's other ways. I actually also use Zillow. And so I'll look up a property. I'll go to Zillow, put the address in. Zillow will give me the Zestimate. I'll look at the Zestimate. I'll look at the highest priced properties that they use to get the Zestimate, and that's my after repair value. PropStream. If you have the CRM PropStream or Real eFlow, they will give you after repair value as well. So some of you guys have PropStream and you're not a real estate agent. PropStream is just as good as the multiple listing service in giving after repair value. They use the MLS in order to get their after repair value. So PropStream is a great tool as far as technology is concerned that you should be using if you don't have a real estate license. Yeah, so Adebisi is saying it's the property value of the neighborhood. All right, so that's after repair value. We also need to know, so we know what after repair value is. We also need to know what MAO is. MAO is maximum allowable offer. MAO, maximum allowable offer. We need to figure that out. We need to know what to offer so that then we can then renovate the property and sell it for the after repair value. And so MAO, we have a formula. So Adebisi is also asking, do we consider bedrooms and bathrooms? Yes. The answer to your question is yes, but I would rather you look more so at the square footage. And here's why. You could have a house that's, say, 2,000 square feet, but the way they have the floor plan or the way they renovated the property with that 2,000 square feet, they put 3 bedrooms instead of 4 bedrooms and made those 3 bedrooms larger. I looked at a townhouse Sunday in Upper Marlboro. It was in Upper Marlboro, and it was about 1,500 square feet. And when I ran the comps, there was, in the same subdivision, there was 3 bedrooms, 1 bath with the same square footage of 2 master suites, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. And when I looked at the comps, the ones that were 2 bedroom, 2 bath actually sold for the same amount as the 3 bedroom, 1 bath. So I look at square footage, but to answer your question, do we consider bedrooms and bathrooms? Absolutely. An appraiser who's going to appraise the property, they're going to look at square footage. They'll look at square footage. They will consider bedrooms and bathrooms, but they look at square footage. All right, you guys. So the Mayo formula, write this down, write it down. Mayo formula for a wholesaler is 65% of the after repair value minus repair costs. That's Mayo for a wholesaler. Mayo for a cash buyer is 70% of after repair value minus repair costs. So let me give you a quick scenario or case study. So let's say after repair value is $300,000 and repair cost is $60,000. Then we'll take $300,000 times 65%, which is $195,000, minus, and this is going to be recorded, so you guys will be able to play this back, minus the $60,000 in repair costs. So 195 minus the 60,000 is 135,000. So that's the maximum that you're allowed to offer the motivated seller if you're wholesaling the property. The Mayo formula for a cash buyer is 70% of the after repair value minus repair costs. So in the same case study, 300,000 times 70% is 210,000 minus the $60,000 in repair costs gives you 150. So I'm buying for 150. You're putting under contract for 135. You offer it to me for 150. I say yes. I sign an assignment agreement. You just made yourself $15,000. You just made yourself $15,000. And again, I know we're going fast. We're starting to run out of time. But so you just made yourself $15,000. Okay. If you have any questions on Mayo, just let me know. Text me, call me, email me if you need to go over it really quickly. So let me give you guys another case study, and this is for the $100. I'm going to give you guys. I'm in the giving spirit tonight. I feel good. Had a great day. Lots of meetings today, but I made it through. So I'm feeling good. Felt like I made some progress. Took some baby steps on building my business. So I'm in a good mood. So I'm in the giving spirit. So let's give out some money. So Nikki hit it on the nose. So Nikki is asking, so our assignment fee is 5%. So to take a shortcut to determine what your assignment fee should be or what your wholesaling fee should be, your wholesaling fee should be 5% of the after repair value to take a shortcut. Absolutely. 5%. So in this case, after repair value is 300,000, 5% of that, and 5% is the difference between 65% and 70%. The difference is 5%. But to do it quickly, if you want to figure out what should you be making on every deal, you determine after repair value and you just put 5%. So if ARV on a property is, let's say it's 400,000, 5% is 20,000. 5% is 20,000. If after repair value on a property, let's say it's in DC, it's in Petworth, is 800,000, you find out that the after repair value is 800,000, and if you're curious to know like how much should I be making as a wholesaler, 5% of the 800,000 is $40,000. Now, can you do better than that? Absolutely. It's all about negotiating. So you can do better than that, but on average, you should be making about 5%. All right, write this down. Write this down. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. All right. After repair value on a property is $650,000. You guys are going to do the math. First one that gives me these three numbers is going to win. Here's the case study. We've got a property. I actually have a property in Brentwood that is under contract for $650,000. My repair cost is less than this. Is 100. As a tell yeah, I don't have my adapter with me to put it on the Ethernet. So hopefully, so let's just get through this, you guys. Give me the numbers. All right, $650,000 is the ARV. $130,000 is your repair cost. Let me know, as the wholesaler, you're wholesaling this property. What should your wholesale fee be? And as the cash buyer, what should I put the property under contract for? Let me know in the comment section, did you guys get all the numbers? All right, $650,000 is the after repair value. $130,000 is the repair cost. So do the math. You're going to have to do the math on what the wholesaler should be putting it under contract for. Also do the math for what the cash buyer is going to buy it for. Do the math for what the wholesale fee is. Let me know what the cash buyer's going to buy it for, what I should have bought it for, and then also what the wholesale fee should be. I see some numbers coming up. They're not really matching my numbers. Let me see. All right, give you guys about another minute. Let me verify my numbers, because you guys aren't coming up with the right numbers. Let me verify my numbers. All right, so let's see. As a cash buyer, I've got $650,000 times 70% minus 130 equals, oh, my numbers are right. All right, so you guys are giving me two numbers. What the cash buyer should be buying for, and then also what the wholesale fee is. Okay, I think I'm starting to see some right numbers here. All right, so let's see. All right, so look, The wholesale fee should be, well, let me make sure I have a winner before I give everybody. I have some partial. No, Eric, I'm not. Oh, let me see. Let's see. I've got the wholesale fee looks right. The cash buyer should be, all right, so Danielle, let me see. Danielle, wholesale fee. All right, so Danielle is right. I don't know if she's first though. So Danielle's numbers are right. DJ Supa is not right. Nikki is right. So Nikki's before you, Danielle. So Nikki's the winner in the clubhouse so far. Allison is not right. Karen, let's see, where's Karen is not right. Dietrich is not right. Ooh, Eric. Is Eric the first one? Eric is right. Let's see. Eric is now the leader in the clubhouse. Eric, are you the winner, Eric? Let's see. No, wait. I just saw something. Dana. Dana is right. Let's see. Let's start from the beginning. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Eric is the winner. Am I right? Is Eric first? I think Eric is the winner. Eric was first. All right, so the answer is the wholesale fee is $32,500, and I should have put the property under contract for $325,000. And I think Dana is first. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Dana. Am I right? Is Dana first? Tina says check hers. Where are you, Tina? Tina. Is Tina before Dana? So Tina is right. Yep, Tina's looks like Tina's the winner. Yep, Tina's the winner. Way to go, Tina. All right, so I think Tina is right. Oh, look at Dana. Dana, you're a good sport, Dana. I think Dana, you're the winner too. Because I was saying Dana, and Dana looked up and said Tina is first, and Dana's an honorable man. And Dana said, no, it's Tina. I'm going to give both of you guys $100. All right, so look, here's how we're getting the numbers, you guys. Here's how we're getting the numbers really quickly. So we're going to put in $650,000. That's the after repair value. As a wholesaler, you're going to multiply by 65%, right? You're going to get $422,500 minus the repair cost of $130 equals. So for the wholesaler is going to get it under contract for $292,500. That's what the wholesaler is putting it under contract for. He's going to put it under contract. Then he's going to do the math for the cash buyer. And so the math is $650,000 times 70% equals $455,000 minus the $130 in repair costs, which is $325,000. We're going to take $325,000 as a wholesaler. We're going to take $325,000 minus the $292,500, and we're going to get $32,500. That's the wholesale fee. Or we're just going to take the $650,000 times 5%. and we get 32,500. That's how we get it. In order to, so I'm taking a live broadcast. So the wholesaler, right? So Keith Barnes, you're right. The wholesaler is 292,500. And so your numbers are right, but I asked for the cash buyer and the wholesale fee. And so Keith, let me see, are you on here? I don't think so. All right, so Tina, get a hold of me if you have Cash App, send me your Cash App. Dana, I already have your information. I'm gonna send you I got busy today, Dana. So I'm gonna send you your stuff when we hang up. So I have Dana's information. Tina, send me your Cash App. I'm happy to send you the money. So look, guys, that was a good exercise. Yeah, Karen, your wholesale was correct. But look, you guys, we got to get these numbers right. You guys are going to find deals. You want to make sure that you're offering the right amount to the motivated sellers. You've got to know the math. Real estate investing, look at this, you guys. Listen. Real estate investing is all about the math. You got to get the numbers right. Number one mistake that investors make is buying the properties wrong. Buying the properties wrong, wholesaling wrong. You have to get the right numbers. You've got to know the math. The Mayo formula has saved me time and time again over the years doing the formula. No, Mr. Miss Seller, no. And I'll say no, 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 no. And I'll walk away. And oftentimes I'll get a phone call, we want you to come buy the property. I would rather you walk away from a deal if the numbers aren't right than to take a deal. Say, oh, it didn't meet the Mayo formula. I'm gonna buy it anyway. I should be making 50. I'm happy to make 25. I see a lot of investors do that. Mayo formula calls for me to make $50,000. The right Mayo calls for me to make 50, but in this deal, I'll make 25. I just want to get a deal. I'm happy to make 25. You get into the deal and a lot of miscellaneous things happen, wipes out that 25. If you bought it right and made the 50, if something happened and wiped out 25, at least you still made 25. That Mayo formula protects you. All right. I think I answered all the questions that actually came in. One other thing I do want to mention, you guys, before we get off. Is I got the question today, a couple times today, a couple times yesterday. Is this a good market? A few times Saturday, actually. Is this a good market for wholesaling? I got the question. Is this a good time for investing? We hear that it's a tough market. Is it a good time? The answer is no better time. There's no better time than now to find properties to flip, to find properties to wholesale. There's no better time. I showed two of my properties, two of my flips. One was in Suitland. I put the property on the market Friday, showed the property to my platinum coaching students on Saturday. As we were at the property, there was buyers coming in with their agents. By Sunday night, I had 5 offers. All 5 offers was over list price. I listed the property for $390. Actually, comps are really at $375, to be honest. I said, well, I know it's a seller's market. Maybe I'll list it higher. Maybe I'll get an offer higher. Listed at $390. Not only did I get the $390, I got one offer at $410 with the escalation clause up to, they're saying, we're happy to buy it at $410, but if somebody beats my offer, I'm willing to go up to 425. Now I'm thinking I'm happy at 375, listed at 390. They offered up to 425. I actually took an offer from one of my agents at 400. So 10,000 over list price. The reason why I took that offer is because they didn't ask for any closing help. The one that was willing to go up to 425 asked for 3% closing and to split the transfer and recordation taxes. The offer I took from my agent was 400, no closing help. The buyer pays all the transfer and recordation, and so which all of that came up to about $15,000. What that other offer asked, the 3% and splitting the transfer and recordation, which made the initial numbers higher. My property in DC that I also showed, I put on the market for 640. The offer I took was 650. They wrote in the contract that if it doesn't appraise for the 650, they're willing to pay an extra $10,000 above appraised value up to the 650. Neither contract on either property asked for closing costs. I say all this to say this: it's a great market, fine deals. Cash buyers are paying top dollar for wholesale deals, paying top dollar. 42% of all the offers now, 42%, the sellers or the investors are getting, they're taking the offers above list price, 42%. And that's just what I saw on CNN right before I started the call. I was looking at CNN and they had a report, 42%. Like, what market are you in? Like here in the DMV and all these other markets, that we're in, 100%. I haven't seen any listing that got either full price or less. They're all over. So 100%, here and all the other areas. We have people on the call in other areas, 100%. So is it a good market? Absolutely. You find deals. These builders, here's what I'm seeing with the builders. They're like paying top dollar for land right now. They're like in a rush. They don't care if the bubble bursts. They're in a rush to put up properties. Like, that's what they're doing. All right, Allison, I'll give you a call. So find the properties, partner. If you don't have the wherewithal to buy wholesale and get top dollar. I'm buying. I'm looking for properties. There's a lot of other. Thank you, Ms. Tate. There's a lot of other cash buyers here on the call. We're happy if you find a wholesale deal. If you find a deal you want to wholesale, let's do it. I'm a buyer. There's other buyers out here. Okay, let's read let's read Eric's question, then I'll get you guys out of here. How do you feel about offering an upfront referral fee to folks sending referrals as an incentive, like guarantee $1,000 referral fee for referred properties that are closed? I think that's a good idea. You just have to be careful. Eric, you're an agent, so you just have to be careful about that. You can only give referral fees on off-market deals, so just be careful about that as an agent. As an agent, you have to disclose, but as an agent, if it's on the market, you can't pay for a referral. So it has to be an off-market deal, and even on that off-market deal, you have to disclose that you're an agent. But yes, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Just make sure it's an off-market deal. And so Dana is also saying that he's a cash buyer. Look, you guys. Let's close with this. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Hopefully there was a nugget or two that you guys are able to walk away with. But the real nugget I want you guys to walk away with is there's lots of opportunity out here. There's cash buyers that need deals and want deals. DJ just asked me for my number. DJ, write it down. 301-351. Let me see if I can put it in. 4513. Okay, there it is. 301-351-4513, DJ. Yeah, I'm happy to go. Congress Heights is my old stomping grounds. Went to Ballou High School, so I know Congress Heights, know every street in Congress Heights. Let's take advantage of the opportunity. You guys spend an hour and 15 minutes here tonight. Spend an hour and 15 minutes on your business tomorrow. Figure out tonight before you go to bed and write it down. What can you do tomorrow for an hour and 15 minutes that's going to help you make money? That's going to help you take care of your family. That's going to lead to generational wealth. That's going to allow you to have another stream of income. Hour and 15 minutes. You spend an hour and 15 minutes with me tonight. Spend an hour and 15 minutes with yourself and work on your business. Do something, one thing, little baby step that's going to lead you to living up to your fullest potential, to get you where you really need to be. And so we do a lot of dreaming and we set high goals, and you should be dreaming and you should be setting high goals. But here's what I do. I force myself to take action. And so you've got to force yourself to take action, you guys. Everybody dreams and talks about a great life, but very few people actually live that life that they want to live because they don't take action. They're afraid. They're happy with the status quo. No, let's be different. Let's be different. If your crowd, and this is an old cliche, but it's true. I even hate saying it, but if you're the smartest person in your group, in your crowd, in your clique, you need to get out of there. You need to be around like-minded people. But there's tons of opportunity. I get calls from you guys, wholesalers, other people every single day. There's lots of opportunities. And so let's go. Let's get it. Like, what's the holdup? What's the excuse? You know, oftentimes it's about what's in your mind. It's a mindset. We talk a lot about in my office mindset and manifesting a great life. We have each other. We have great resources, tools. That's not your issue. For most of you guys, your issue is you're not taking action. Sky's the limit, you guys. Sky is the limit. And so let's go for it. And every single day, I'm here as a resource. I'm here to help. I only get my blessings if I bless you. So put me to work. Let's go. All right. What's Rashida saying? Do you have or anyone here have experience with probates? And so Rashida, we do have tons of experience with probate. I'm not sure if the probate office is open for us because of COVID. They might be open. But here's what you need to do, Rashida, and everybody. Brand yourself. Brand yourself, brand yourself, brand yourself. Let's brand yourself. Let everybody know that this is what you do. And I feel, it's been my experience that I get a lot of probate deals because I've branded myself. People are coming to me. With probate, you go to the probate office, and this still works. You go to the probate office, you get the new filings, you get the personal representative or the executor of the estate. You're emailing them, not emailing, you're mailing them postcards or yellow letters. You're calling them because you can get the phone numbers. They're primarily going with people that they already know or who they're referred to. And so the biggest thing for you guys is to brand yourself. Keep branding yourself. Social media branding. I talked about meeting, my plumbers at the gym, on their car, on their truck, magnets. Some of you guys have those. Do those things. I'm normally wearing a shirt that has, my logo on it. And I have hats and coats and all that with my logo. I want to be a walking billboard. I want someone to stop me and say, hey, are you into real estate? I've got a house to sell. You know, can you assist me? So we've got to brand ourselves. I'll give more information once I know that the probate office is back open. Rashida, I'll give more information about that. But until then, just keep branding yourself. That's how you guys are going to get deals. But do something. Let's spend an hour and 15 minutes working on your business. That's it. Tomorrow, that's it. Let's go. All right, you guys. Take care. God bless. This recording will actually be on YouTube, and I think we'll send it out. But so subscribe to my YouTube channel, and it will be on my YouTube channel. I think you guys are on my YouTube channel now, but subscribe to it. This will be there. Look at it again. Let's take some positive steps to make our lives better. We've got people who are depending on us. We've got spouses, we've got children, we've got parents, we've got siblings. We've got ourselves that are depending on us to be great. Let's be great. Let's not let them down. Let's not let ourselves down. We've got real estate investing. Sky's the limit. Let's go. All right. Take care. God bless. Good night. I'll talk to you soon.